In this video, we're going to talk about the lies that women tell men about what they're actually attracted to. And sometimes they don't mean to lie, but sometimes they actually do. And so in one hand, the woman may lie to you about what she's attracted to, mainly for self-preservation, because she doesn't want to let you down, or maybe she doesn't want to let you know the real reasons or the real things that really attract her, because she doesn't want you to get upset with her. Or two, it's an emotional thing. In other words, she doesn't know exactly what turns her on. She doesn't know exactly what attracts her. She just knows it when she feels it. And most women do not know what they're actually attracted to. In other words, they respond to something much different than what they actually say that they're into. So what a woman says she wants and what she actually responds to are two different things. My name is Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men. Tens of thousands of men have come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. The first lie is that she wants a nice guy. Now, she wants a kind and caring guy, but she doesn't want the nice guy in the typical sense of what they call the nice guy. In other words, she wants to be with a guy who cares about her and has respect, but at the same time can challenge her, to not immediately agree with her, to actually be a guy that she admires as opposed to this guy who puts her on a pedestal. Now, guys will listen to her and she'll say, I want a nice guy who treats me well, treats me like a queen, gives me flowers, takes care of me. And guys will say, okay, you want that? How about I take that to the extreme so that you absolutely love me completely, so that you are so dialed into me, which ends up going into this place where the guy, one, he is just super into her, and so he ends up coming off as weak. He'll do whatever she asks, anytime she asks. He's like, yep, I'm giving her everything she wants. I'm being super nice to her. So he becomes overly accommodating and gives up his own self-respect. And two, he'll respect her, but at the same time, he'll be putting her on a pedestal. Because he wants this woman so much, he's going over, above, and beyond what a normal person would do. And so he puts her on this pedestal like she's this special thing that he must achieve, that he must get. And that if he gets this, then that's a reflection back on his own self-worth. And so for a lot of guys, they'll be good to her, but he'll do it at the expense of his own self-respect. And so for most women, they're going to see this right out of the gate, just by the first interaction that he's talking to her with. And she'll say, yeah, I'm just not interested. I've been down that road before. And the flip side of this is the guy will be nice to her and do all these things for her. But as soon as she tells him that she's not that interested, he's the first guy to flip and become an unhinged maniac and tell her that she's a slut and that she's been leading him on and that she's been lying to him this whole time and trying to manipulate him. When in fact, this entire time, he's been the one manipulating her, trying to get her to like him by doing all this stuff that's out of character. And so this is the kind of guy that will just give up everything he has, everything who he is, and his own self-respect just to get a little bit of female attention, a little bit of validation. And so women know this game. They've played this many times. And in fact, a lot of women are very, very tolerant of this. I can't believe the number of text exchanges that I've seen where the guy is just doing this over and over and over and again, the text messages, and she's just teeing it up again. Here's another opportunity to be better. Here's another opportunity to be better. And she'll do this for like 2 weeks with the guy. And then he's like, she ghosted me. He's like, dude, she gave you like 14,000 chances, but you kept trying to be overly nice, overly accommodating, trying to give up all your self-respect. And then when she finally ghosted you because she said, hey, I'm just not feeling it, and then you're asking her, well, what's wrong? Why don't you like me? What's going on? Why are you doing all this? And then you just didn't get the picture. That's when she stopped texting you, because she realized she wasn't getting anywhere with you. You weren't going to figure it out, and that this whole texting game became this manipulative thing where you're trying to guilt her into liking you. And so that's what ends up happening. She has no choice but to ghost you. Or you get into a situation where this woman sees what you're doing and she likes to take advantage of guys. And so she'll see that you're overly nice, overly accommodating, overly insert the blank, and she'll say, cool, if you like me, you'll prove your love to me. And then she'll play this game of hard to get. Again, women do not play hard to get. They show themselves and they present themselves very well to the guys that they're interested in. So if a woman's not really presenting herself to you in a way that you are obviously know that she likes you, then she's just not that interested in you, and you're playing this game of hard to get, which is let me prove myself to her, because she's trying to manipulate the situation to get gifts or pay her bills or watch her kids or insert any number of things that a woman who tries to take advantage of men will do. The second lie is they'll say, I want a guy who is emotionally open. And so what the guy will do is he'll tell her how his feelings are. He'll be emotionally open. He'll tell her what's going on with them and just riff off of whatever's going on in his head. And then he finds out that his woman's not that interested in him. He's like, I thought she wanted an emotionally open guy, but I think that all she wants is a jerk. And the problem isn't that she doesn't want an emotionally open guy. The problem is the guy doesn't have any emotional self-control. He doesn't have any emotional resiliency. So what he ends up doing is complaining to her a lot. He tells her about how bad his day was. He tells her about the fact that his boss didn't treat him well. He tells her about all the sadness in his life, and all she sees is this guy who just doesn't have control of himself. And so he doesn't look emotionally resilient at all. He does not look emotionally strong. In fact, she looks at herself and says, I have more emotional strength than this guy. And in fact, now I'm sitting here trying to tell him it's okay, it's all right. And then she ends up becoming a mother to the guy. And so in this place where she says, I want an emotionally open guy, he went all the way into the extreme, and now he's just all over the place. He just diarrheas all over the conversation with his emotionality because he's not taking care of himself. So he is emotionally available, but he's not emotionally strong. And she'll end up feeling responsible for his emotions. He'll get upset whenever she says something, and so she doesn't feel like he's strong. She doesn't feel like she can open up. She has to cater her words based on his emotional reaction. And so on some level, she feels emotionally responsible for him. And I can't tell you the number of husbands that I've talked to whose wives have left him or have cheated on him. And this is the problem. He talks about what's going on with himself, but she's like, I can't talk to him. I can't talk to him because I don't feel safe in this situation. I don't feel safe to talk to him and to open up. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you feel safe to open up? It's because the guy loses his mind when she gets upset. He gets defensive. He loses his emotional control. Or he gets upset that she's just not interested in sex. Or he gets upset because she decided that she didn't want to hang out with him. And he just gets all sad. Now she has to come back in and say, it's okay. No, it's not this problem. It's this other thing. And then she has to be his mother. She wants him to be open, but she wants him to have some sort of solidarity to him. She doesn't want to worry about what she says or how she acts. And not that she's trying to treat you terribly and she's going to be evil or mean to you or say bad things to you, but what she's saying is she wants to be able to express how she is, her wants, needs, and desires without you getting upset or getting defensive or turning into a puddle of mush and getting sad all the time. She wants a guy who's strong in himself. She wants to feel that you are more emotionally powerful than she is. And when she finds out that she is more stronger than you, a woman who knows that her emotions can oftentimes take over and she feels like they're out of control at times, and she can't stop herself from crying, or she gets upset or emotional or whatever is happening hormonally with her. And then she looks at her husband, who's supposed to be the guy who's supposed to be rock solid, and then she has to cater her emotions and worry about how he's going to feel in reaction to what she says. Then, of course, she's at some point going to say, I can't really share how I am with him. I can't really open up to him. I don't trust him. I don't feel safe to be able to express how I am because he is going to react to it. The third lie is, I just want a guy who loves me for me. On one hand, this sounds great, but women aren't attracted to a guy who just accepts them blindly. Women are attracted to a man who demonstrates power and the ability to connect from this power. In other words, his value as a person, as a man. And so, yeah, she says, I want a man who loves me, but on the flip side of that, I want a man who loves me that I'm already attracted to. And so unless she's already attracted to you, that statement doesn't mean anything to you. If you don't really have the traits that really turn her on, if you don't have the traits that makes her admire you and respect you and see you as a powerful person, somebody who actually challenges her, she's just not going to be attracted to you. And it doesn't matter how much you accept her. And so this is the problem with guys when they have the two things that the woman needs, which is she needs demonstrations of power and she needs connection. And guys oftentimes just keep doubling down on connection, hoping that she'll like him. And that's not true because she's not doing the things that create attraction, which is power. The connection creates safety and trust. The power creates attraction. And without the power, there's no way she can feel attracted to you. And so you could accept her and love her no matter what, but that doesn't mean anything. Your attraction to her means nothing to her. It's all about her experience and what she's having with you. So she says, I want a guy who loves me, but I want him to keep me excited. And she might even say, I want a guy who has options with other women. In other words, she wants to feel that you're an attractive guy, not just to her, but to society in general. She wants to feel like she has a catch. And she'll say, I want a guy who respects me, but not worships me. So in other words, this is going into the approval-seeking behavior. She has to be able to see that you're a powerful guy, more powerful than her. And this also includes her trying to manipulate you, her trying to talk down to you. You have to be able to be more powerful than her in all the avenues of the relationship. And it doesn't mean you have to be a perfect guy, and you don't have to do all the hundreds of things that guys say that women want and that women are never satisfied. It's not that at all. The problem is that men just do not want to step into their power. They don't want to hold boundaries, and they don't want to say no, and they're not willing to walk away, so she never really respects him. She never really sees him as a powerful dude, and because of this, she just doesn't find him attractive. A woman who doesn't respect you can never find you attractive. Now, she can find you attractive and not feel safe with you because there's not enough connection, and oftentimes this is the bad boy situation. And guys, the good guys, the nice guys, are trying to be overly connected with her, hoping that it'll spark attraction, and it never does. It just turns into a friend zone arrangement. And those guys are afraid to step into their power, whereas the bad boy's afraid to step into connection because he's all wounded and vulnerable and she tries to save him or whatever. And so she has to be able to respect you to be attracted to you. And even better, if she's admiring you because of what you're able to do and what you're able to accomplish in the world, then you've got a perfect winning combination of the power dynamic. The next lie is, looks don't matter to me. Yes, looks do matter to women. They matter quite a bit. But she doesn't want to say that because she doesn't want to come off as shallow. But she will notice a guy who has a good physique. Now, you don't have to be a perfect 10. But you have to look like you're put together. Why? Because a guy who's put together shows that he has emotional resiliency, he has discipline, he has strength, he has courage, he has discipline of mind in some form or fashion. And this all lends to traits of a high-value man, a guy who can command power and respect in his own right. And so again, this is demonstrations of power. Now, demonstrations of power on the emotional side. I have emotional self-control. I can have my habits. I can have my discipline. And oh, by the way, I have more habits and discipline than she does. So again, she's going to always be looking at you in relation to how she does things. This is like her main gauge. Is he more disciplined than me? Does he have better habits than me? If he does, then I can see that he is doing better than me, which means that I feel like I'm trading up when I'm getting him. Women never trade down in the dating game. They don't even trade equally. They always want to get the strongest, most powerful, most put together guy that they can, and they want to feel like you're better at them than the things that they are doing. And your ability to look good, your ability to dress well, to have good hygiene, to move proper, to have good posture, to have big upper body strength, commands respect and commands power. And again, she's going to be looking for demonstrations of power, and your presence is the most obvious thing to her. So when she sees a guy who's taller, like 6 foot and above, again, she's looking at commanding presence. It's not that he's tall, it's the fact that a taller guy is more intimidating. It's that a taller guy with muscles is more intimidating. A taller guy with muscles and a suit is more intimidating. He looks like he's got his shit together. People respect that guy, and respect and that demonstrations of power is what's going to turn her on. Now, on the other side of that, when she goes really far into that power, when the guy starts pushing that power envelope, she's going to feel unsafe. She's not going to feel like she can trust him. She's going to feel like that guy could cheat her. She's going to feel like that guy could leave her for another woman. And so this is where the connection comes in to build safety and trust. And then with these two magic combinations together, this is where she's able to fall in love with you. She can allow herself to relax and to fall in love with you. And so the bottom line of this is just watch what a woman responds to, not what she actually says. And generally, women aren't trying to lie out of malice, although that does happen. What they're trying to do is they're trying to have self-preservation. They don't want to come off as somebody who's shallow. There's a lot of societal norms that they're trying to adhere to. They don't want to come off and be judged by what they feel is their carnal desires. And they also don't even always know what turns them on. And so when a woman doesn't know exactly what turns her on, it can be this loose gray area where this person or this thing happens and she's like, holy shit, this is what I want. And she doesn't know it till she sees it. And so when a guy asks her, hey, what is it that you want? She's going to say, I want a confident guy with a sense of humor. What she's talking about is emotional resiliency and a lot of discipline and hard work that's gotten him to that place where he's confident. And oftentimes those guys have the money, they have the muscles, they have whatever, and it all goes hand in hand. So a lot of these things that happen that these guys have are an offshoot of the internal game that they have going on within themselves. In other words, if I have the habits and I have the discipline, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have a better body. I'm going to look better. If I am a guy who is well put together, it's going to demonstrate and come out in different ways. I'm going to speak better. I'm going to have a better sense of humor because I'm not stressed out all the time. I can actually have a good conversation with people. I'm going to know how to work a room or know how to be social to people. And so she's going to look at all these things and say, that's the top guy in the social hierarchy. That's the guy that I want. I want to be with that guy. And from this place, she sees that you have those demonstrations of power and you can connect with other people and then you can connect with her. And now you've got the winning combination. And so you don't have to do all these hundreds of things and jump through all these hoops to try to make a woman like you. You just have to focus on those two things. Am I connected within myself and can I connect with her? Am I powerful within myself and can I demonstrate power in the world? And that's pretty much it. It's really fucking simple. And if you want to learn how to do this specifically for yourself, the Soul Seducer program teaches you how to do this within a few weeks. In fact, if you want to learn more about that, there is a link in the description below or maybe in the comments section of this video. And if you would like to see more videos like this, hit the like button so it shows up in your feed. Hit subscribe so it shows up even more. And so that other guys can also see this and you can pay it forward to other guys who are dealing with these kind of issues and they desperately need the help. Anyways, brother, I love you and I'll see you in the next video.